Thanks. Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Liam, back at it again with an absolute banger of a story time, as my favorite YouTuber always says. And today, I've got a wild one for you. At the time, I found someone's secret stash in the woods, and I smoked it. But before we jump in, real quick, make sure to check out my Twitch. I post a new schedule every now and then, so hit that follow button and turn on notifications so you never miss a stream. Alright, now let's get into this crazy story. This happened a few years back, when I was still in high school, back in my early days as a stoner, when a little bit of weed could send me to the moon. My parents were super against weed, and this was way before I ever got caught for the first time. On one sunny afternoon, I decided to go on an adventure. I always packed my Camelback, which, if you didn't know, is a small backpack with a built-in straw for water. I'll put a picture up on the screen, but it's the coolest shit ever. Didn't even need to carry a bottle. So I packed this homemade resealable duct tape pouch to keep my stash airtight. I had like a few of these, and I would just keep them in my closet, and I'll just like hide them in like my bottom drawer and hope no one finds it. Sketchy, yeah, but it's super effective. And I always made sure to bring the essentials: money, weed, water, and snacks, because I knew I wasn't coming back home until way later whenever my family wasn't downstairs. Weed reeks, and I was not trying to get caught in the early days of my stoner career. I was basically the James Bond of Kush, but that's gonna be a story for another time. Now, after gearing up, I said a quick see you later to my family, and I walked right out the door. Now, I had a couple of smoke spots that I would rotate between because I lived in a family-heavy neighborhood, and getting caught was not on my agenda. On this particular day, I picked a special spot, but before that, I walked around for a while, took in some of the scenery, got my steps in. It was absolutely beautiful. I have pictures of my special spot. Coming out of there stoned felt like stepping out of Narnia into a magical world. So I get to my spot, and before settling in, I do a quick sweep of the area, making sure there were no snakes, no sketchy people, just me and nature. But then something caught my eye. I looked down and I noticed a Swisher Sweets pack on the ground. It was like, it looked weirdly sealed, but by that I mean like it was obviously, the first seal that you rip off, it was obviously ripped off, but it looked like it was, resealed. Curiosity got the best of me. I picked it up, gave it a little shake, squeezed it a little bit. I felt a little something in it, but, didn't feel any weight. I thought it was just trash or some shit. I open it, and I get hit with the strongest Fruit Loop smell I've ever experienced. Inside is a bag of some of the freshest, most beautiful weed I have ever seen. It was like about 2 grams of it, probably like 2.5, something like that. It was light green, had some hints of orange. It was perfectly cured. Bro, I hit the jackpot. And before I forget, here's an actual photo of where I found it. Crazy, right? Yeah. And first thing I did, I pulled up Snapchat and I called up one of my homies. His response: bro, you just took someone's stash. They gonna be looking for it. And that's when it hit me. Somebody somewhere was eventually gonna come back expecting to find their weed, and instead, they were gonna find me smoking it. Not gonna lie, that freaked me out a little bit. So I packed a quick bowl, I sat down, I took a couple hits, and then packed up, I got out of there. I wasn't about to risk someone showing up mid-session asking questions. But out of curiosity, I did stick around nearby just to see if anyone came looking. I was like off in the distance somewhere, just looking like one of those spies with the binoculars and the dishes and the fucking dishes bushes. I swear I cannot talk today. All right. Sure enough, a little bit later, I did see two kids roll up, look around for a second, and then they dip. They were definitely looking for that shit, and yeah, I kind of felt bad, but at the same time, you really shouldn't be leaving your stash out in the open like that. I mean, maybe he dropped it, who knows? His loss, my gain, because that stuff was way better than what I had on me. What I had on me kind of, I mean, it was some mid. It wasn't that great, you know. It just still got me high though, still good, still good. But after that adventure, I continued my little journey. I went on a little excursion. I went to this trail nearby, dude. It's like a couple miles long. I didn't walk around like the entire trail, but I walked a little bit, went down to see the water. It was so nice. Oh shit, speaking of that, guys, I actually have a few pictures of where I hid my stash. And yes, I did hide my stash in the forest. It was so sketchy. And then here's me pointing at it from a distance. And then from a distance again. Yeah. But anyways, a word of advice, you really should never smoke random stuff that you find because times are different and people lace their shit. So you have to be careful out there. Luckily for me, this was back in the day when finding a mystery stash wasn't as sketchy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this special edition of Storytime. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll keep bringing y'all top shelf content. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time.